Don't touch that dial, for this podcast is being invaded by the drive-in mutants.
After MST3K originally ended in 1999 after 10 seasons, the show still had a huge influence on TV, and even the cast members moved on to similar projects like Cinematic Titanic and the one we're going to be talking about today, the film crew featuring Mike Nelson, Kevin Murphy, and Bill Corbett. The early days of this started on National Public Radio, for which they even had a pilot called 3 Men in the Movies. I couldn't find much on this, and even doing a simple Google search results in either the movies 3 Men and a Baby or Men in Black 3. They also provide content for Legend Films, more specifically, hosting the Three Stooges in color.
That Curly.
Yeah, Curly. The robust mirth of Falstaff, the voice of Cyndi Lauper, the iron crotch of Johnny Knoxville.
So what's next?
Guys, I'm afraid it's a Shemp episode.
Ah, hell!
What? Oh, God.
It wouldn't be until 2006 when they announced that they will be making a new series for the then MST3K distributor, Rhino Home Video. The series would have Mike, Kevin, and Bill playing fictionalized versions of themselves, providing commentary tracks for movies that didn't have them. Of course, the concept was very similar to Mystery Science Theater. Even the then rights holder of the show, Jim Mallon, threatened to stop licensing episodes of the original show, The Rhino, if they produced the Film Crew DVDs. I can understand where Jim was coming from. After all, Rhino was a good production company that released such classic films like Fear, Loathing in Las Vegas and Shriek If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th. I'm sorry, what? So yeah, they went ahead and canceled the DVDs, but not before a total of 4 episodes have already been produced. It eventually got picked up by future and now MST3K distributor, Shout Factory. Of course, when the episodes were being made, they had to make a few changes. Originally, their boss was named Mr. Rhino, but they dubbed over the new name Mr. Honcho, not to mention removing all references to Rhino for the transition to Shout Factory.
Oh, hello, and welcome to this fine Honcho Home Video presentation.
Film crew?
Hey there, Mr. Honcho.
Hi, Mr. Honcho.
The way the show was structured was that Mike, Kevin, and Bill were stuck in the confines of a basement at work, as they provide commentary tracks to every obscure movie that their boss, Bob Honcho, hands to them. And how's their commentary, you may ask? Well, if you know the way they did it on Mystery Science Theater, then it's not that different here. The only difference is that there is no silhouette of the three in the corner of the frame. Even if you can see them or not, they still make some great riffs at the movies.
Let me steal your cookie.
It's time to face your maker on the Muppet Show tonight.
Okay, worship and stuff.
Go! So they didn't have penises back then, just huge testicles. That statue.
Wow. It's turned into a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Wow, that came out of me? I gotta cut down on the cheese.
Wow, that's a lot of porn.
I'm not wearing underpants. Okay, guys in diapers toting fence posts around. Thank you, movie.
There's steam cleaning his nipples.
Hey, Tony, bring the camera out here. I want to get a shot of this idiot.
Tinfoil or...
Hey, you guys got any baby wipes?
About halfway through the films, they would have a lunch break, or at least try to when Kevin interrupts them with a presentation that's inspired by the movie they're watching. These are more on the lines of a host segment you would see on MST3K.
But then they decided to try for something bolder.
Yeah, I guess a giant gag ass is bolder in that it is, you know, a giant gag ass.
After the movie is finished, they get together and discuss or do something related to a ridiculous part in the movie they just watched, like the villain's bizarre death in Hollywood After Dark, the sudden close-ups of actors with dead inside expressions and killers from space, the ideal mate indicator and demanded dancing inspired by the wild women of Wongo, and a contest for the most stupid-looking hats from the Giant of Marathon. And as you can clearly tell, there were only 4 episodes that were released, starting on July 7th, all the way to October 9th of 2007. During this time, while the DVDs were getting released throughout those months, Mike Nelson got a position over at Legend Films, known nowadays as Legend 3D, where he did basically the same thing for the film crew and MST3K, and gave hilarious commentary tracks for films like Little Shop of Horrors and Plan 9 from Outer Space, as he then gave birth to the one thing we all know now. It's time for Sometime later, Kevin and Bill then joined Mike at Riff Tracks and later bought the operation from Legend, where they continued to work on Riff Tracks to this day for 14 years. Not only do they have a catalog of Mystery Science Theater episodes to purchase, but they're also selling the Film Crew episodes. So at least they're acknowledging that it exists, unlike the cartoon spin-off, which absolutely no one should remember. I do recommend you give these a watch. They're not that expensive either, only being about $10 each. Because not only is it a piece of MST history, but it's also to see what would be the precursor to Riff Tracks. Of course, there's still another piece of MST history to talk about, that being Cinematic Titanic. But unfortunately, I couldn't grab it in time for this year, so maybe we'll talk about it again sometime in the future. But for now, be sure to come back tomorrow where I'll be talking about 2 episodes that people have called the best of season 11.